Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Come back with me to September 1982. Welcome everyone. We're going to get a lot of games tonight, starting with what we last left off with playing Golden Gloves, sparring on our Atari home computer. Let's see what the next game is. We're now on the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Grave Robbers. Grave Robbers is also found on the Commodore 64, so I'm kind of lumping them together because a lot of the artwork for the VIC-20 doesn't exist, but the Commodore 64 does. Let's take a look at the box. Grave Robbers. So you can see it's the Commodore 64 box, and this was the box that was in the United Kingdom by Rabbit Software. I love the artwork because it reminds me of computer games. Most of the computer game boxes look like something I did in my bedroom, and this is exactly what it is to me. And this is the original or first one. You can see it says Commodore 64 and VIC-20. This is by Victory Software. It's the same game though. This one's very boring though. I would prefer this. It looks pretty cool. It also looks scary and almost horror-esque. Flip it over the back and it just tells us about Rabbit Software and know any programmers that want to join Rabbit Software, but nothing about the game. There's the cassette tape. We're going to pop in to play some Grave Robbers. And again, it says Commodore 64 because you can find more of that rather than the VIC-20. Both of them look pretty much the same. You can tell by the artwork, though, it's high-res graphics. Let's pop in and play Grave Robbers by Bruce T. Robinson. Victory Software first, then Rabbit Software in the beginning of September 1982. So this is the very first one. We start off in the Diamond Cemetery. There is no title. It just goes right into the game. This is it. It is a graphic adventure game. This was also re-released in 1991, I believe. So first you want to do is tell yourself, what kind of text parser does this use? Let's say if we want to say look. Does look work? No, look does not work. What about INV for inventory? Oh, we do have inventory. Dynamite, matches, radio, a sandwich in foil. If they're being specific about foil, maybe we got to do something with that. All right, so let's look again. And it still doesn't work. Okay, so let's go ahead and head north because it says the exit is north. And it says, huh? So that's the kind of text parser we're working with. In does not register. You can't say in to go north. And you also need to understand that the exit's north, but there's a gate in the way. So let's open the gate. There we go. And now can we go in north? Huh? No, it doesn't understand that. What about N-O-R-T-H, north? Huh? It doesn't understand that either. The text parser is so rudimentary, you have to say go north. Oh, creepy. I like the sound effects, though. The lightning, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go again. Go north. Beware of dog. All right, sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and go... That's really cool, though. It's a graphic adventure game that has some animation that's happening on the screen. It's not just a single picture. I was expecting from the screenshot it would be something solid. All right, so let's go north again. Keep out. And it's flashing something in the background. I can't make out what it is. All right, so now we're going to unwrap our sandwich. What happened? Oh, it cut it off when the lightning strikes? That's not fair. It's going to say, huh. Yeah, it doesn't understand. Unwrap sandwich. What? It doesn't understand that. Okay, unwrap, then. I can't do that. Unwrap sand... No, it doesn't do the command. Oh my gosh, I don't believe it. So even if we want to do something that I know the game needs to have from the walkthrough, it won't let me do it. I can't believe it. Yeah, I know. We should be turning the lights off to play this game. Very, very creepy, scary. Now remember, all these games are brand new, so we're playing them brand new in September 1982. The presentation's pretty cool for a graphic adventure game. Anything that has any effects like this, better than a solid screenshot's pretty nice. But the text parser, I don't think I can get past that. It's not the best. We played plenty of other text adventure games out, or graphic adventure games out there. All right, let's try it again. Unwrap. Sand. Oh, so it cuts off. Wow, it cuts off so you can't do it. Okay, so let's try use. Sandwich. I don't know how to do the command then. If the text parser doesn't even get the command that I want to do. All right, so watch what happens. We'll go north then. without unwrapping our sandwich. There's the dog. It doesn't look very ferocious. All right, can we even look at the dog? No, we cannot. Now, when I've looked up the walkthrough for this game, it is a very short walkthrough, a very simple game to play, and it doesn't take you very long to get through, but can you handle the text parser? Because you're most likely just going to be fumbling on the keyboard, trying to do different things, and it will not work. Let's try it now. Unwrap. It didn't do it again. I don't believe it. It doesn't understand what I want to be able to unwrap the sandwich. Okay, what about give sandwich? Give. And by the way, the flashing, the lightning is actually stopping the text parser because it has to process the lightning, so it just totally stops what I want to tell the game to do. Give. No, it doesn't even. Do I still have it in my inventory? I have a foil I have dynamite matches, radio, and a foil sandwich. I can't even type the whole word. Sandwich is 8 letters, and I can't even type all 8 letters into the text parser. So I don't know what to do next for the game. Now, it's possible that on the Commodore 64 version, you would be able to do this, but whenever I look at the gameplay footage, it's the exact same. It looks the same. The font and the text and everything. Yes, you only get a certain amount of characters, so I don't know what exactly to do. So for grave robbers, you could spend the time, and I'm sure if you bought the game at the time, you could spend the time trying to figure out what's up with the text parser to make it work for you or say what you need, because a lot of times these games and adventure games will have a certain command for sandwich, like SD or SW for sandwich, but you would have to figure that out. So this is an insane way to do an adventure game. Of all the adventure games we played so far, I mean, we got Adventure International out there, we got Sierra Online out there. It has a lot of competition, so I wouldn't be able to give anything higher than maybe 1.5 stars. So it is still an adventure game. I love the effects, but it's still a bad title. Around the bad range, 1.5 or 2 stars is what I'm thinking. Arrow's going to 1.5, and it's also a very short game. So because of that, I wouldn't say it's broken, but adventure games need to have some length to them and not have the bloat of let's make it as difficult as possible so no one does the 8 steps it needs. I'm serious. Look this up on solutionarchive.com. The solution for this game, it doesn't take long. I actually thought I could do it on the show. Yeah, so I'm going to go 1.5 stars of all the games you could play on a home computer. Let's see what's next. Time to go on our Commodore 64, the brand new Commodore 64, and play Grid Runner. Now, Grid Runner, there's 2 different releases. I'm going to show you the later release. The artwork is really cool. We've already played this on the Commodore VIC-20 back in May of 1982, and we gave it 4 stars. So here it is on the Commodore 64. Artwork is really nice. Flip it over in the back. It's the year 2190, and the Earth is a barren and desolate wasteland. With all natural resources used up, the human race's last hopes rest with a huge orbiting solar power station known as the Grid. Sounds just like Tron. Now, the Grid has been invaded by a race of evil droids intent on the total subjugation of Earth. To combat these droids, an incredible, powerful, maneuverable ship, the Grid Runner, was developed. Your mission: stop the droids and save the Earth. It's an arcade game with 1 joystick, and yes, this is by Jeff Minter. This is the 10th game that Jeff Minter or Llamasoft has done here on the show. Let's see the other art we have for Grid Runner. So the original, I don't know which one exactly came first, but the copyright says 1982 for this one. This is HES, Human Engineered Software in North America. And this is the very first game that Jeff Minter has done on the Commodore 64. This is it, and it's a big one. It's really, really nice. You can see on the front, they're showing you a brief description of the game. Same, the back of the box for HES. Fast-paced, arcade-quality action game designed to test your coolness under fire. 31 different attack waves with an ever-increasing number of enemies. Droids release on the grid in a bewildering series of distinct attack patterns. And we played this on the VIC-20. It's really, really good. So I'm expecting the 64 to be just as good. There's the cartridge we're going to pop in and play. You can see the copyright there is 1982 by HES. And yes, that's right. This is the Llama Man. There's the cassette tape. We're going to be playing the first one. You could also do a little bit later in 1983 and get the cartridge version. We also have the manual, and I think this was this is the HES one. Yeah, there we go. It's the year 2190. I got to adjust my vision, though. It's all blurry, this manual is. So you control the Grid Runner so fast and powerful with skillful control, you can annihilate vast amounts of hostile droids. We have linked droid segments that traverse the grid horizontally because it's a centipede variant. They look very centipede-esque. Squads come in any size, from solitary leader droids, linked squads of mini droids. Whenever a droid is hit, the body turns into a FOD. Squad droids are vulnerable to the XY zapper and may be hit if you split them. And then we have pods of small yellow devices that lodge at boundaries of the grid, periodically growing in size and changing shape. When they reach the end of their life, they cycle and hurl a single bolt of unstoppable lethal energy down the grid. So you're moving around from row to row and column to column in the game, and the gameplay is very similar to Centipede, but it has a sci-fi theme to it, kind of like Tron. Hitting a pod regresses its stage in one of its life cycle. Repeating hits will eventually destroy the pod. You want to do that because if it blows up, it goes across the grid and destroys you. The two ships are along the XY boundaries of zappers, and then it shows you how to run on your Commodore 64. Very nice. How do you control it? You freely use your joystick, all 7 lines of the grid. I don't think you can have the whole range of it because it's like Centipede. You only do the bottom of the screen that you have control of. And then it shows the scoring, and then attack waves. There's 31 distinct attack waves, it says here in the manual. Instead of working your way through each grid level, you can go directly to any level you wish. At the beginning, you do grid 1 is shown, push the joystick forward, and you can pick the levels. So cool. It gives us some strategies here, and don't panic. It's a very fast-paced game. Don't let the speed intimidate you. Good players will be looking for scores over 150,000 points. Yeah, probably not going to happen here. We'll see. We'll see if we pop in and play some Grid Runner. This is Jeff Minter. The beginning of September 1982. Llamasoft. On your Commodore 64, make sure you got this plugged into the other port or it will not work. We got a cracked version to play some Grid Runner. There you go. Yes, and a trainer that comes with it too. Pretty cool. Unlimited lives. Yeah, we'll say yes, and go. Oh, there it is. Enter the level you want and then press the fire button. So let's go ahead and do level 1 and fire. Let's do it. Now this one went way too loud, so let me switch it up for us. There we go. Oh, sweet. So we got the port in the right spot in our Commodore 64. It looks slightly better than the Commodore VIC-20. Plays about the same, though. It's Centipede, but it's like a sci-fi themed Centipede. Oh, man, the presentation is awesome. How you fly in there, and you have different lasers around the outside that time their laser shots to blow you up. So if you see them going around the outside, they are randomly making an electric field that goes across the screen. I'm dying a lot because it is a very difficult game. It is fast-paced, like they described in the manual. And there at the top of the screen, which looks like the Centipede, is what you're going to be blowing up. Gosh, so tricky. Oh yeah, the sound sounds really good. I know we were kind of cheating with the cracked sound effects coming through from when we first booted the game up, so try to ignore those because you wouldn't experience those in September 1982. But man, the sound is so good. You got to be aware of everything around the outside. And then there's the yellow pod they were talking about from before. And you got to watch out for the ship on the left side is going to shoot shots straight across, and then the lightning bolts come down every now and then. Oh, we almost got it. Oh man, they almost did that one. Yeah, there we go. And then whenever you clear away the quote-unquote centipede, then you go on to the stage 2. Yeah, love this on the VIC-20. Still love it now on the Commodore 64. Man, the sound is so good here. And just like in Centipede, you can hold down the fire button and continue to fire excessively. So it auto-fires pretty much. If you already really enjoyed Centipede, then Grid Runner should be right up your alley. It's like if you wanted to play Centipede, but you didn't want it to be girly and colorful. You wanted something cyberpunk, like I saw in the chat. I love it. Yeah, Bartolman, I'm with you there. This is still 4 stars. Of all the games you can play on a home computer, Grid Runner's a 4-star title for sure. Yeah. It'll gobble your quarters at home. I wanted to see one of the pods fully mature, but it hasn't happened yet. Man, amazing. Really clever use of programming, too, because Jeff Minter essentially did kind of like tile-based programming because they're using the grid to move around. And most of the time when you play other games that use this formula, it feels choppy, but here it feels natural because you're on a grid. You're expecting your ship to move one row or one column at a time. See? And it's fluid. The controls are nice and smooth. It feels like if we got rid of the grid, it would feel like it was jerkier controls. But it helps line up where enemies are going to come. So cool. No, we haven't heard some really good music from the Commodore 64 yet. This, I would say, is the best sounding Commodore 64 game so far. Sound effects, this is the best sound effects. All right, so just like the VIC-20, I would say 4 stars. What would you give Grid Runner of all the games we could play right now on a home computer? It's awesome. Grid Runner is so good. I already saw a few 4 stars out there. We're going to say 4 stars as well. If you wanted to, you could nudge it a little bit up from 4 stars compared to the VIC-20, but it's still fantastic. All right, let's see what the next game is. Back on the Commodore VIC-20, here's Ground Attack. Ground Attack is another one of the games pack of the VIC-20. This is by Melbourne House, so bear in mind, it's 5 games on 1 cassette, and this is just one of those games. Be prepared. Let's pop in Ground Attack. This is by Clifford Ramshaw at the beginning of September 1982. Oh my goodness, the draw-in. No way. Now, first of all, joystick does not work. It did not work at all. I have to do keyboard, so here we go. All right, W makes me go up. I don't believe this. This is a scramble variant, but we are not playing scramble like you would expect. It is not scrolling. Did it just crash after the game was over? I think after we died, it just... Yes! Oh my gosh, it just crashed. Okay, here. Just run it again. So it didn't officially crash. You have to actually you have to type in run to go to the next to get it to boot up again. Okay, so this is scramble, but it is doing what we refer to as flip screen gaming, where it is flipping the screen like we've seen with Berserk, but it's doing it with a shoot 'em up. That is just terrible. Actually, I need to figure out what's my fire. Oh, there it is. Wow, and the delay between my ship and the keyboard is insane. I can't believe this. This is so slow. Wow. Now, before the show, I tried to add memory to my Commodore VIC-20 and see if that would help. It did not help. I can't believe how bad it is. Just going negative 0.5. Yeah, this is an extremely broken game. If people ask what's a broken game look like in September 1982, this is it. This is the reason why no one should be doing fixed or flipped screen gaming on a shoot 'em up. It should be a scrolling affair. Wow. Punk Rock is going 0, right? Oh yeah, we're not going to run that again. So Ground Attack, you can tell it's part of a compilation. Very scary. So in the United Kingdom, you had a lot of these. This is way down there. Definitely going to be broken. I'm going to say of all the games you could play, this is barely unplayable. I'm amazed that they decided to do this and didn't even try scrolling. Yes, 0.5. Yeah, I'm going to I'll go half star. Wow. Ground Attack is so bad. So what do we got to do? We need to play Ground Attack on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. So this one's a completely different title than the other Ground Attack. Let's take a look at the box or the cassette case. This is by Silversoft. They call it an action game. It runs in 16K or 14K, 48K on your ZX Spectrum. Flip over the back, it just has the address, so nothing about it there. Any other artwork for... Actually, where's the title? All this has is the company, and then it's ZX Spectrum Arcade Action. That's all it says. But this is Ground Attack. So, oh, there it is on the side. So it shows on the side is Ground Attack. but the front of it doesn't have anything. So there's the loading instructions. Your mission is to pilot your spaceship through torturous caverns while destroying the enemy missile launchers and fuel dumps. Endurance as well as quick thinking are needed to survive. No one has yet succeeded 9 different skill levels, and there's the controls. We have 5 to decelerate, 6 to dive, 7 to climb, A to accelerate, 9 to drop bombs, and 0 to fire lasers. Now, these controls we've seen on the ZX Spectrum. We're going to see it for a while. It's the same as the ZX81. There's the cassette tape. We're going to play some Ground Attack. And then there's an older one by Silversoft. Same game, though. So this is Ground Attack. We have a made-up manual. And it's pretty much what we just read on the other side. Okay, yeah, there we go. It features 5 different alien scanners, humanoids, smart bombs, reverse hyperspace, laser thrust, dive, climb, multiple attack waves, bonus points, full color sound, scoring, planar surface. So we're going to play another Scramble variant. How in the world do we have 2 games called Ground Attack? One of them is part of a compilation, and one of them is a standalone title like this one, but it's the same idea. It's Scramble. Is it going to be performing the same way? I don't know. So this was re-released by Pax Man Promotions, and we also have it on tape or the versions 1 through 3 to play. We're going to play the first one. Here we go. This is by Ian Hayward of Silversoft, the beginning of September 1982. Nice. At this point, we played 30 different Scramble variants here on the show. 20 of those have been for home computers. On the ZX Spectrum, we've seen Avenger and the very terrible Spectrum Scramble. So this is the 3rd Scramble variant on the ZX Spectrum. What do we want to do? Okay, hit any key to go. Let's see. Oh, what speed do we want? Okay, let's try speed 7. So hitting 7, I'm going to use all of the numbers to control on my ZX Spectrum keyboard. Let's see if they all work. All right, there you go. Oh, cool. We're scrolling. That's already a plus. How do I find... Okay, there's my bomb. Got it. And then my laser. Okay, so I got freedom to move around just like Scramble. I got the laser and I got the bomb. Really, really similar to Avenger on the ZX Spectrum. This one's pretty nice, though. Oh, yeah, look at this. We get the next level that comes through the cavern. Got to make sure we get the fuel. Where is it displaying my fuel? Because whenever you play Scramble, this fuel is kind of like timer, letting you know that you need to pick some up or you're going to die or your ship's going to blow up. But I don't see it. We move on to Zone C. Very cool. So it has levels just like in the arcade. It feels like we're pushing the ZX Spectrum too hard. Notice the scroll. It's not smooth, but I wouldn't expect it to be at this point, to have smooth scrolling on the ZX Spectrum. Whoa, there's the sound. We were hitting little bleeps and bloops. Yeah, a bit choppy, but if we compare it to everything on the ZX Spectrum, this is actually really cool. You would have a lot of fun with this because it's such a new computer. But as far as everything we could play on a home computer, yeah, this is choppy. This is not smooth, but I like the idea. We're in Zone D, moving on to E. Cool, it's going level to level. That's awesome. I don't see what penalty I get for not hitting the fuel canisters, though. I haven't died yet. And I get a little wiggle room to move around. That's nice. Okay, I hit one of the fuel. We're on to Zone F. Oh, yeah, don't hit the sides. Oh, and don't get blown up by missiles. I think I've already had my game over. Yeah, I know the surface-to-air missiles is pretty cool. And there we go. So that's the game over already. I like that we went from zone to zone. I give that the notch over the other one we had played called Avenger, but I'd still say of all the games you could play on a home computer, this one's a bad title. If it was ZX Spectrum, I'd say this one's about a 4-star, maybe 3.5, 4-star game for everything on the ZX Spectrum. But home computers, there's so many Scramble variants out there, really, really good ones that you could be playing. Yeah, Arrow's going 2 stars. I'm thinking around the same 2 stars. It's a bad title, but best of the bad. Yeah, Joshua's also going 2 stars. Barto's going 3.5. Very generous. I gotta be a ZX Spectrum fan then. Yeah, and it does look like a vacuum fluorescent tabletop, Ken. Yeah. For the handhelds. Yeah, we'll still say 2 stars of everything you can play right now on a home computer. It's too bad, though. It's pushing. The ZX Spectrum is pushing. All right, let's see what the next one is. We're still on our ZX Spectrum, and this is Ground Force Zero. Let's check it out, starting with the box. Ground Force Zero. Let's blow some stuff up. Looks like we're going to pilot a bomber. This is, again, 16K or 48K. Every game we've seen so far tonight, you could play on the 16K spectrum. Very nice. And nothing on the back. Do we have any other artwork for Ground Force Zero? This is by Titan. With all the ground forces available to you defeated, you have been ordered to make a new air attack on the city. The city is New York. We're going to go blow up New York. Okay. With your altitude dropping up all the time, your best tactic is to bomb the highest buildings by pressing the B key. However, it's always wise to bomb as often as possible. Any collision with a building, burning, or solid will result in your fatality. This is describing a Blitz variant video game. On landing the plane, do not be too surprised if your pilot does but you will have to land the plane to find out. So this is a Blitz game. We're going to blow up buildings, and then when they flatten, then we land the plane. So it gives you a theme. Oh, we might hear a song. That's pretty nice. So there's the cassette tape to play some Ground Force Zero. I don't know about the force of Titan programs. And then there's another cassette. And an example of the screenshot. Oh, it looks really similar. We have another homebrew manual, and I think it's what we just read before. Yeah, it's the same thing on the inside with "May the force of Titan be with you." So it's available on tape or TZX. Let's pop in Ground Force Zero and play Titan Programs in the beginning of September 1982. Whoa, it is music, or attempt of music on the ZX Spectrum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first song we've ever heard on the ZX Spectrum. And they're just messing with the notes, so it's not a true song. I still love it, though. All right, so let's go ahead and do level. I'll do level 5. This shouldn't take too long. You got to make sure you hold down the key a little bit before it recognizes it. So this looks like the other Blitz variants we played on the show. This one is the 13th Blitz variant we played so far. You could also call these one-button games because the one button is B. There you go. And you drop the bomb. Can I drop multiple ones? No. I can drop one at a time. And the way the Blitz games work, it's very similar to Blitz we played in the arcade. You drop the bombs, you flatten them, flatten the buildings, and then, there we go, time it, right? Because the plane's going slowly lower and lower, and so you need to get these buildings down. Of everything you play on a home computer, though, this one looks similar, but the music in the front and the presentation, this very well might be one of the best Blitz variant games you could play on the home computer. Yeah, Canyon Bombers, another one we saw in the arcades, too. This doesn't look good. And if you are good enough to flatten all the buildings, we are not going to be this time, then you'll have a nice runway for your plane to come down. Yeah, see right there? That's pretty cool. Seeing the plane destroy. Previous score made it to level 5, so we can do a lower one. Let's do level 2. It's going to have lower buildings, I bet. Yeah. So you get the idea. It's another Blitz game. With a one-button game and something so simple, it works really well, and you'd have a good time for it on the ZX Spectrum. But there's other ones we played on home computers, and there's other ones that you could be having a more fun time on a home computer with. Yeah, that's no problem, Curtis. You can go back and forth. Hopefully, it restreams switching it so everyone can see the chat for everyone. All right, so Ken's already thrown out 2 stars of everything you can play on a home computer. Man, if I was saying just ZX Spectrum, though, I'd still say above average 3.5 maybe, because it's a one-button game. It's very simple, but you'd have fun with it. So Curtis is going 2, maybe 2.5 of everything on a home computer. Charlie's going 2.5 too. Errol's going to bump Grid Runner up. Okay, nice. So Ground Force Zero is, I would still say, a bad title. There's better ones that we could be playing out there. I'll say 2 stars of everything so far on home computers across the gamut. Let's see what's next. It's time to go to the Atari VCS and play Guardian. Another one by Apollo. Here's the box for Guardian. Well done, Apollo. I think their artwork's getting better and better. This one is the 6th Apollo game that we played here on the show. 6th one to come out on the Atari VCS. We flip it over. Wait a second. Is that the Millennium Falcon? They keep sneaking in spaceships from Star Wars and Star Trek. So cool. Flip it over on the back, and we got the Androsian starship hovers out of range of your lasers. If her thermomolecular bombs can penetrate through the force field that protects the 3 lush green planets of your galaxy, it will blast them into cosmic dust. You order your laser commanders to destroy the bombs dropped by the starship. It's your only chance. 34 variations, and hey, paddle controllers. Cool. I love paddle controllers. Any other artwork we have for Guardian? We have the grungy and the clean, the messy and the cleaned up. Same thing with the back of the box. Give me your tired and worn out boxes. There's the cartridge for Apollo. Guardians, Apollo's Guardian. With a reconstructed box and an example of the screenshot. Yeah, paddle games are always a plus. Here's the manual for Guardian. I'm telling you, the artwork is really good. That looks like it's an official Atari game. That's really nice. Does that mean this is a really nice game? You can't judge a video game by the cover. So the 34 game variations. It's been a long war, and you know this will be the last battle. Androsian pirates have reduced all nearby galaxies to arid orbs of scorched cosmic rubble. As Chief Lord of the Sandrian Galactic Council, you're in command of Guardian. Guardian. Although a powerful weapon, Guardian has protected the children of your worlds for generations and has come to possess almost a mystical aura. You're scanning a monitor on Apollo, your chief planet, staring at the image of a gigantic Androsian strategic ship, Dromeda. Man, the lore! Way to go, Apollo. They're going all out. And then the setup is you're played, this is a 1 or 2 player game, and you're both able to use paddle controls. And this is not a 1 or 2 player game where you're alternate play. You get to play at the same time. That's what really drives this over the top. The difficulty switch allows you to have lasers recharge more rapidly, and defenses last for a longer time between laser shots. And then the game select switch gives you all the different variations. There's the paddle control that we're going to be plugging into our Atari VCS. The knob of the paddle controller will move the Guardian of the screen horizontally, and the fire button will fire the Guardian's laser. Yes, we got it. Why do they need to explain this for Atari games? If there's only one thing to do and one button, I think we can figure it out, right? That's what makes these games great to play. Here on the show, we're hopping game to game. I can figure it out. You move, and then you shoot. So you do a 1-player game, the enemy starship Dromeda moves horizontally across the screen near the top with your planets and protective force field at the bottom. In the 2-player game, Dromeda moves horizontally across the screen with planets and force field on the top of the screen and on the bottom of the screen for the 2nd player. The player score appears in the bottom of the 1-player game and the top player next to the other player's force field. So we can play together at the 2 people can play together at the same time. You play simultaneously, fending off the thermomolecular detonators directed toward the planet of the Androsian starship Dromeda. Man, too many tongue twisters. So it shows you how to play. You're getting to move around and shoot with a paddle control. That's what really makes this amazing. And there's the scores and the game variations. And I think we have May Guardian protect your world now as in the past. Yes, we got the grid. So a 1 or 2 player game, it has the saucer direction, random or bouncing, bomb dropping, random or regular, and then bomb trajectory. Look at all that, all those variations. Lots of fun. It's like we're playing an old school Atari game. Let's pop in and play some Guardian. This is by Larry Martin of Apollo at the beginning of September 1982. So I just want to flip through so you can see. Let's do a 2-player game. I'm going to plug in my second Atari joystick and play. I know, Victor, it brings back the 116 variations that we all want to see in September 1982. All right, so here we go. This is 2-player. Check it out. You have 1 player at the top and 1 player at the bottom. So I'm able to play both at the same time, but that's awesome. That right there is one of the cool things about this. And what in the world? This is Apollo. One of the first games we saw by Apollo was Skeet Shoot, and it was terrible. And now we get to play something like this. Too cool. So here's all the game variations. They switch it up. At the bottom of the screen, the color change is matching what's on the manual. Very nice presentation. As we go through the game modes, it switches the color up too. Nice. So you can match what the manual has with the game mode down below. That's awesome. So many game variations. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first one so you can see just the base game and how it works. Wow. Wait, 34. Yeah, there it is. God, so many. Okay, we're reset. Now we're in for real. Paddle controls and shooting brings to mind Demons to Diamonds that we've already seen. And the bottom of the screen are the worlds we're protecting. So as soon as any of these reach the force field, it starts to break them away. Usually when we play a 2-player simultaneous video game, it's what I like to refer to as a dual shooter, where you're competing against someone else to destroy them. But this one doesn't have that. It's both players protecting or working cooperatively. Very nice touch. Gameplay, though, it doesn't feel super smooth. It felt smoother when I was playing something like Super Breakout. So the paddle controls, I wonder if Apollo, like, it doesn't feel, it feels like there's some gravity to my movement. Like, when I move the paddle, I don't feel like I'm able to snap right where I want to go. Whenever we played Super Breakout and some of the other titles that use paddle controls, Warlords is a really good example. Warlords on the Atari VCS feel really smooth. This one doesn't feel as smooth as that. I wonder if most of the power went into programming the second player. And you see it slowly whittling away. Oh no. Yes. Don't destroy my home planet. Do I get any penalty for smashing into him? I don't think so. I think they're only... Yeah, it doesn't do anything to my ship. It's just about protecting the home world. Yeah, it looks that way, but I don't think you can. Everywhere on the instructions, and when I try to play it with a joystick, it doesn't work. Unless someone later mods it or changes it to play with a joystick. If I was going to be picky, I'd say Demons to Diamonds controls a little bit better. Just slightly. It started off with paddle controls and I was excited for it, but now it doesn't feel as smooth as I would have hoped. Oh, I see what it does. So if one of the ships hits you, you just do a pause. You kind of wait there a sec. I realize, though, this is Apollo. This doesn't feel like Apollo. This feels too good to be Apollo. So of all the games we played by Apollo, I know the Final Approach was pretty cool as a air traffic controller game, but I would say this is like the best Apollo game that you could play on your Atari. And they are destroying the world. At this point, I would want a friend to come jump in and help me out. Now, when the friend jumps in, though, it just means that the center ship is going to be shooting top and bottom, and you and your friend are defending at the top and the bottom. Is that our victory? Is that our victory? We get a flat line to tell us we're done. Yeah, this is not that bad. I was expecting bad from Apollo, and it is not. Wow. So of all the games you can play on a home console, we've played cooperative games like this, harking back to Space Invaders on the Atari VCS, and then Alien Invasion on the Fairchild Channel F, and then Sonic Invader on the Creative Vision. And then recently we played, Demons to Diamonds and Cosmic Arc, which allowed you to work together with someone cooperatively, and then Rescue Terra 1, and then, of course, Demon Attack that did the alternate play. But this one allows you to cooperatively play with someone else and shoot, so that's very, very unique. It's very, very good. I'm seeing Charlie throw out 3 stars already. We have 2.5 from Bardo Man, Curtis, and Errol. And yeah, Apollo, this is one of the best ones. I'm going to say of all the games you could play, yeah, 3 stars, definitely. I'm even going to go 3.5 stars because of the cooperative play. Being able to play with 2 people on a home console simultaneously like this is unique. We see this more often on the home computer, especially with the Atari home computer. So I'll say of all the games you could play on a home console, 3.5 for Guardian. Well done. Josh will give him a generous 2 stars. I wouldn't see this one as one of those bargain bin titles. Of course, everything's going to be a bargain bin title at some point, but it's still a really good one. Nice to find. All right, if that's not your cup of tea, how about we check out Guardian on the Apple II? Now, this is something completely different. If you had too much Pac-Man variants, if you had too much Space Invaders variants, how about something fresh? And that's what you get with Guardian. Let's take a look at the box. Wow. The front of the box is very impressive. Doesn't this look like a poster that you would want on your wall? It's a comic book-esque. It reminds me of something that is not something you'd find on the cover of a computer game. It's so good. Flip it over the back. This is programmed by Tom and Jerry, which we'll get their real names, not their pseudonyms. This is assembly with 48K you need for your Apple II. The artwork of the box is so good, and I think there's Kim Passe is the artist. Well done. There's the 5¼ floppy disk we're going to pop into play. This is by Continental Software with an example of the screenshot. We also have the manuals, quote unquote the manual. Look at that artwork though, wow. We're going to shoot things and have another sci-fi time. Yeah, there you go. The year is 2112. The sacred emerald of Syrinx has been entrusted to you by the High Priest of the Solar Federation. You must protect the emerald from those who would use its powers for evil instead of good. And it's up to us, one person, right? Your mission in this episode of the Guardian Saga is to see that the gem gets safely through the 6 levels of the dungeons of Kalen. You've been selected as the Guardian. Now, when they say we're supposed to be protecting it, and it says there's an episode, doesn't it feel like a comic book? We're going to be playing a comic book. It shows the instructions for how to boot us up. When you're ready to play, it'll be asked if you want normal or expert play. Many hours of play are required to master the expert level, so be careful. What you don't know can hurt you. And then you can control the Guardian with a joystick mode, or you can use the keyboard. Joystick operation, you can move in all 8 directions and shoot in all 8 directions, but take a look at the bottom left. The keyboard operation is controlling very similar to another game we played called the Biles Toad, where you can control your character to move in one way and then have a whole nother set on the keyboard to move another direction. So you have your shots with one side or movement, another side with firing on the left side. So you bring up the keyboard mode and you type in Escape K to use keyboard mode, and I think they show you when we boot the game up. And then it has a lot of tips to play. There's special keys that they'll also show us. I'm not even going to go into the special tips because I want to show you live what this game is. This is a very unique one. Let's go and play some Guardian. This is by Bob Flanagan and Scott Miller of Continental Software in the beginning of September 1982. All right. The year is 2112, and the High Priest of the Solar Federation have entrusted us with this sacred emerald. Hey, they got the story when we put the game up. How about that? By Tom and Jerry. Do you require a briefing? I think we do. We're going to say yes. So there's our enemy types. We have 2 resurrections, which means lives. Our joystick has button 0 for firing, and the keyboard controls are there. We have S to aim, and then K to stop. And then we can go back and forth between keyboard and joystick, and then it shows even the hotkeys right here above my shoulder. Maybe it is Curtis. That'd be awesome. All right, so we can go escape. Oh, S. Or am I missing the... Oh, escape K? Oh, no, it's escape. Escape. There we go. And then expert or normal play. We're going to go with normal play and then hit escape to start the game. So I'm going to be using keyboard controls because I want to be able to do both at the same time and hopefully explain what this game is. Here we go. Entering Sector 6. The walls right now are harmless. So we're playing now. In the center of the screen, I can move around. Oh, I need to go escape K. There we go. Now I can move. Okay. So this is me aiming my character in the center of the screen. I got 8 different directions I can aim, and he just sits there. And then when you want to move, you can move your character with the opposite side. So I'm moving around. I can move in 8 different directions. Now, all the enemies are just patrolling around the outer perimeter. See, they're just making a circle around. As soon as I make a shot, they crowd on my position. Ready, set, go. And now they are coming at me, and I have to make myself to the escape in the top right that just appeared when I fired the first shot. The enemies also crowd you after a certain amount of time. So if you sit there too long, they'll eventually all come at you. So you have to work out a strategy to... You can see the timer going down also. You have to work out a strategy to destroy all the enemies or make your way to the exit the best possible way. So let's try a different strategy this time. Walls don't hurt us, so let's start here. And this time I'm going to go and fire at this guy. And then fire at this guy. What? Oh, he takes 2 hits. So there's different enemy types too. Attempting resurrection again. Resurrection successful. So in a way, it's similar to Berserk, but there is no frantic movement. It's more like a proto-tactical shooter, if that's the best way to describe it. Going for the first one there. Okay, we got him this time. Okay, and then see how they move the exit? So the exit's going to change, and I got to make my way around. Oh, he got me. That one grabbed hold of my head that time. I know it's like a slow motion Robotron. It's unique. There is no other game that is like this that I could describe. It's a different experience. It's a shooter and it's a multi-directional shooter, but allows you to notice how they're changing up the levels too. If you end up making it to the deeper levels, you go further and further down until you reach the level that has the scepter that you're supposed to retrieve. All right, so now let's see what we'll do. Let's go aiming up here. So that one takes 2 hits to take out. Yikes. And you can see they're crowding in, but you have to work your shots. Gosh, it almost feels like Gauntlet, because you don't have the freedom of a twin-stick shooter to move and shoot at the same time. You have to think about planning where your spot's going to be to either sit and shoot or move to a different direction and shoot. All right, so let's try this a different way. Let's start up at the top and go from here. And see if we can get him now. And if you go with joystick controls, it's the same idea, but you cannot move and shoot at the same time. Oh yeah, I love that too, Curtis. Yeah, notice how we have a Robotron sprite and a Space Invader sprite? Oh, I just ran into an enemy and you die. So while the walls don't hurt you, the enemies do. You gotta watch out for them. Oh, Uvacore. Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet, but good point. It is like that. I think the original Cloak and Dagger, wasn't that a twin-stick shooter like Robotron 2084? So when you look at the screen, you can kind of make out what it is, but the controls, though, is what makes this unique. We played Berserk clones where you would sit in one spot and you cannot move until you shoot, and this is like that. And you can see we have a different maze. Let's try it again, and let's go with this way. Fire at him. Fire at him. What in the world? They can go through the walls. I didn't know. We got to make it through at least one exit. And I love the idea of attempting resurrection. Let's try it again. Place your bets now. Oh, we got the exit. Go, go, go. Yes, entering Sector 5. And you work your way down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 until you can get to the right spot. So you don't know where the exit is going to be. That one happens randomly. No, I almost had him. And if you end up, you see how the exit goes around the outside? It's just a cool idea that it's not the same shooter that you'd expect. It's a different kind. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Curtis. I guess you can give that kind of rating. Yeah, I know. It's very difficult to do with a joystick, but keyboard allows you to have all 8 directions to move, all 8 directions to shoot, and you'd have to take a little bit of practice to get used to it. But I love the originality. It's so cool. All right, maybe it was. We'll have to see whenever it shows up on us. All right. There we go. Had a blast with Guardian. Of all the games you could be playing right now on a home computer, Guardian's cool. That's really unique. It's like Berserk, but they changed up the formula and made something new, something different. And it could be your cup of tea as well. But it is still action. It's just slowing down the action to a slower pace. So I got to say, of all the games you could be playing, I would say 3 stars or 3.5 stars at least, maybe between 3.5 and 4. I've seen a lot of 3 stars on the chat. Yeah, and I like the homage to the other characters in other games, too. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go 3.5 stars for Guardian on the Apple II. Yeah, Josh was 3.5 as well. Very cool. Let's see what's next. We're going back to the brand new Commodore 64. Here is Guns of Fort Defiance. Guns of Fort Defiance we've already played on the Apple II and on the Atari home computer in 1981. It was also available for lots of other systems, and finally we can play it on the Commodore 64. It is by Avalon Hill. Be afraid. Be very afraid. This is the first game where I was expecting simulation or strategy, and Guns of Fort Defiance is not. Do we have any other artwork for the Guns of Fort Defiance on the Commodore 64? Now we got the ad you would have seen in magazines. There it is with all the other ones that we've already played. Dnieper Riverline, Controller, Galaxy, and Voyager. Voyager's pretty cool. First-person action maze game. Let's go in and play some Guns of Fort Defiance. This is by David A. Wesley and Microcomputer Games, published by Avalon Hill at the beginning of September 1982. All right, now, Guns of Fort Defiance is not simulation. It is actually an artillery variant, the kind of where you decide what angle and what power you want to shoot. But expect a lot of text. I mean, look at this. We have just reading we have to do the first time. Fort Defiance is a half-built stockade, and it gives you the history because it's during the War of 1812. And the enemy can attack you. It's coming in constantly for you to play. So we're going to go into briefing so you can see what this is like. From your position in the watchtower, you can see the attack starting, and you tell your troops what to do. And your troop is just one gun. You shout the warning for your men to the gun below. So the men down below are responding to what you say. So it's a command parser. You have to tell them what projectile to use, like the ball, canister, double canister, shell, or spherical case. And then when orders have been heard, they'll be replaced by your selection. Next, you're firing a spherical case. You'll have to set the fuse. So they added a little bit of strategy in there. Then you set the elevation of the gun. And then after the elevation, you set the deflection. Did everyone get all that? All right, let's play. Handicap, 25 for your first game. Well, we're pros. We played this already 2 times here on the show, so we'll do 30. We'll up the ante. And what in the world happened? If you've seen this already on the show, this looks kind of like the Atari home computer, but man, Apple II actually had graphics. We're expected to believe that those are troops up there. That's what's coming from the top. All right, so what projectile do we want to load? We're going to go ahead and load let's do a spherical case. Oh, wait, P, sorry. Okay, the load the spherical case. What fuse do we want? Let's do a fuse of C. And then the elevation that we want, let's do an elevation of B. And then the deflection. Now, deflection, look at the top of the screen. There's a plus. You have to move the plus, there we go, to the left and right, and that's the deflection of the shot. Good night, though. This is worse than the Atari version of the game. I can't believe this is on the Commodore 64. It's even slower than the Apple II and slower than the Atari version, but the graphics, it's all imagination, and it's just the presentation's so bad. So we've already played from 1981 a better version of this one, so Avalon Hill just let us down. And then essentially you just, you set those coordinates and then you fire and blow people up, but man, no, this is just terrible. Guns of Fort Defiance is a bad game. When we played this on the Apple II and the Atari, I even said that it was 2 stars bad because it was slower paced and it wasn't a very good artillery game. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like an SSI game, but there's no war game or tactical strategy to it. It's more of an artillery variant or a bloated artillery variant. So I got to go bad. Yeah, it's 1.5 stars, maybe even broken. I know it does look quickly done. We need something on the Commodore 64. Push it out now. Yeah, right? It didn't even redefine anything. It's all default. So I'm going to go 1 star. It's in between broken and bad. You could play it. I don't think you'd find enjoyment on it, even back then. I am in 1982. I am not finding enjoyment on it whatsoever. Charlie's throwing out 2 stars. Errol's 1.5. Yeah, I'll go 1 star. It's in between broken and bad. All right, and let's see what our next game is. We're on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is Hungry Horace. Hungry Horace. I don't know if you're familiar with Hungry Horace or not, but any new mascot character is always a treat here on the show. Let's take a look at the box. Hungry Horace. Oh, yeah, on the ZX Spectrum. In 1982, that's what you get. It's like a proto-Lolo or a proto-Kirby. It's Horace. He looks adorable. Flip it over the back, you can see he's a delightful cartoon figure with mischievous moving eyes and a rolling gait. He loves to play cat and mouse with the guards in the park. With your help, he'll steal their lunch, eat the flowers, and create panic in the park by ringing the alarm. One of the most amusing, colorful, and exciting computer games yet devised. Oh, I gotta see that to believe it. Yes, and he's hungry apparently. Let's see the other artwork for Hungry Horace. Oh, this is so fun. Seeing the beginning of someone. So this is the box that was released later when it came out, I believe, in Portugal. The later front of the box, and then we also have in Spain, he's known as Horacio Gloton. And we also have the full maze of Hungry Horace. It is a 4-screen game, if you wanted to call it that. Oh, there it is on our spongy ZX Spectrum. We will not have a joystick plugged in. We are going to be playing this on the keyboard with the cassette to pop in to play some Hungry Horace. Sounds so fun. Awesome. And we even have the manual or the inside sleeve of it. So over on the left side, it has different stuff by Scion Software and Melbourne House. Hungry Horace is a machine language game for the Spectrum. You are Hungry Horace, intent on devouring everything in your path. Horace will move along the paths, bridges, and tunnels of the park by pressing the following keys. So there you go. You got to use key Q, Z, I, and P to move Horace around. Each flower in the park that Horace eats scores 10 points, but beware of the park guards who are out to catch Horace and throw him out of the park. If Horace is caught 3 times, he'll not be allowed back in the park at the end of the game. There are several alarm bells in the park. If Horace can ring one of the alarms, the guards will panic, and Horace can catch them and throw them out of the park. Look out when one of the guards drops his lunch of cherries or strawberries. No way, just like Pac-Man. You'll score 100 points if you eat the guard's lunch. The park's divided into several sections. In each park, there's an exit leading to the next section. Horace does not need to eat all the flowers or reach the alarm before entering the next section. Each section of the park is harder than the one before. Got it. And we even have sound effects. It says, be sure to, it's how to set up your system to get the best sound effects from the game, too. So cool. So this one's available in lots of releases and re-releases. The first one was done by Sinclair Research, and then later in 1983 on the Timex Sinclair 2068, they had Hungry Horace. And then, of course, in Spain, like we said, by an Investronica, it was Horacio Gloton on tape. Let's pop in that tape and play Hungry Horace. This is by William Tang of Scion Software or Beam Software. Yeah, there's the sound effects of the ZX Spectrum. I don't know, Joshua. We'll see when we play if he's a Pac-Man reject or not. All right, so it's doing the demo mode. There it is. That's Hungry Horace. We hear the sound effects, too. Very nice. I love it. The character that you see right here above my head was designed by Alfred Milgram. And the Horace character, just think of where we've come. The characters in video games used to be a pie, a Pac-Man pie, and now it's resembling like something else, something more quaint. I mean, look, even when he turns around, he's got a little booty that he shakes in the background. All right, so let's press any key to play. Any key to start. Let's go. All right, we're in. Yes, it is just like Pac-Man. The guard, man, it just screams the ZX Spectrum. With the color choice, let's go and pick up one of the ringing bells over here. No, awesome. And you take care of the guard. Oh, he just appears as another one. And they even have the tunnels and bridges. Let's move on to the next screen. So cool. So it is actually letting you move from screen to screen and not staying on the same screen as Pac-Man. Whoa, the screen's slowing down a little bit now that we got 2 guards. So this means I should be able to ring the bell and knock both of them out, right? Let's try it. Okay, pretty cool. Of all the games you can be playing on the ZX Spectrum, this one is tops. This one's so good. Oh, he dropped a cherry. We need to go get it. Let's move on to the next side. Oh, I think I can get that cherry. Let's go get it. Extra points. Love it. Uh-oh. And that's what you get for stealing the lunch. Let's see. Pick up the last dot. Can we warp to the other side? Very nice. We can. He dropped some strawberries. We'll take that. Move on to the next screen. Oh, yikes. It's only a one-way screen. Now, this game was packaged with some of the ZX Spectrum games. That's why it says Sinclair Research as the publisher. So most people, when they were first playing the ZX Spectrum, would have played Hungry Horace as their very first game. And I would have loved this. I mean, as far as all the games we played so far on the channel, Hungry Horace is doing something original. Because when you first glance at it, it looks like just another Pac-Man title. Oh, let's wipe them out. How long does this last? But Hungry Horace is doing what Berserk... Oh, we didn't have the time to do it. Most of the maze-style games went the Berserk route, where you would run from screen to screen and shoot things. Hungry Horace is the very first Pac-Man game that said, what would happen if we turned Pac-Man and we allowed you to move screen to screen or flip screens and still pick up dots. So Horace doesn't shoot anybody, he's just picking up dots, but he does have a very small world to explore. Oh, I don't know if I can... Yeah, this is the last screen or the hardest screen. Get out of there. Okay, he dropped his lunch. We'll sneak back in. Oh, he's not buying it. Okay, maybe I can... No, leave. And he did get the jump on me. The AI of the guards works all right, too. It's, it does pretty well. Yeah, this is really fun. Now, granted, when you had this first on the ZX Spectrum, you wouldn't be using a joystick. It'd be keyboard only. Awesome. Yeah, if you want to compare this to other computer games that are out there, obviously at this point we've played tons and tons of Pac-Man games, over 80 so far. But this one is similar to Alcatraz 2, which allowed you to go room to room, or flip the screen to a new room, like you're exploring something larger than yourself. Or a game we played in the arcade called 005. But every other game that's done this, that went screen to screen, it was either an adventure title, or a graphic adventure title, or it was something like Berserk. This is the very first game to say, let's take Pac-Man and let you go room to room. Yeah, oh wow, we got to getting the ratings out there. Awesome. Yeah, I would have had a blast. This would have been the #1 game on the ZX Spectrum. Hungry Horace. It's also cool to see the beginning of a series of games based on a character like that. Yeah. I'm seeing 3.5s and 3 stars. Yeah. 4 stars from Joshua. Wow. Yeah, for a Pac-Man ripoff, that's pretty good. And it's also the first of its kind to try something different with Pac-Man. I love it. I'm thinking 3.5 or 4 stars of all the games you could play right now on all home computers. It's really good. Yeah, I'm actually going to go even higher. I'll say 4 stars. Hungry Horace is a pioneer. He's doing something that no one's tried yet, and so I'm going to say that's what makes it fun. Plus, this game is going to be released later with some level editors, so you can make your own levels and connect them together. This one doesn't, but it's something to look forward to. Pretty cool. Yeah, on the Spectrum, oh, Errol's going down to 3 if it's all the home computers. Yeah. Spectrum, I'd say 5. This would be a 5-star game if it was only for the ZX Spectrums at this point. Alright, we're now going to put our video game playing on pause. Tune in next episode for a Taito arcade game that time forgot. And Casey Munchkin is back, and this time he's going to talk to us. That's it for today, and like I always say, please don't plug your cassette tape into your Walkman. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.